Hi everyone, I'm just logging in and just putting my computer on, but I am here. So I just had to go and get the power cord for my phone as well. So I'm sorry, I'm just wobbling the phone a little bit trying to put the power cord in. Okay, let's just open the laptop and check if we're live. It is a lovely sunny evening today. Yesterday was so cold. It rained most of the day, and I was talking to Laurie this morning and I said I really nearly put my heating on last night, and she actually did. She'd put a fire on. So it wasn't just me who was cold. Oh, here we are. Okay, so yes, we're live, and I would be able to see comments, I think. So let's make this just a little bit straighter. There we go. Hi Laurie. Hi, I was just saying that it's lovely and warm today, and we were talking this morning and nearly put our heating on yesterday, and you'd put your fire on. So what a difference, isn't it? It's quite a bit better. Hi Judy, nice to see somebody else from Calgary. Thank you for joining us. Whereabouts are you? Sort of north or south or anywhere near us in Cochrane? So I don't know if you've seen this little template. It came in one of the letters from Stampin Up last week. We had all the demonstrators had an email, and this was one of the, not a challenge as much, but just, oh, Southwest. Okay, I only know a little bit about South area. My brother and sister used to live down near South Health Campus, but I don't often travel that way, Judy. So Laurie probably knows more Calgary than I do. But yeah, this came from Stampin Up in an email to all the demonstrators, and they sent it just as a creative idea, and I loved it. So I'm just going to hold it up to see if that's a bit better. All they sent was this. There were no sizings, measurements or anything. They just had this little white piece with a line across, a sentiment, a circle for an image, and this is a little piece of ribbon. It took me a while. I thought it was another piece of paper as a backing sentiment, but actually it's just a little piece of the glittery ribbon. It's this ribbon. Let me find a colour for it to go on. You see how it's like a glittery, sparkly organdy ribbon. So I'm thinking it's that ribbon. And then these are all Celebration free papers. And I thought we would make this template today. I'm not going to use all Celebration free papers. I'm going to use some others as well. But I thought it was really nice. And I've seen another couple of demonstrators using it. And hi Jane. Oh Judy, I don't know Millrise at all. I'm really sorry. Honestly, I don't venture into Calgary very much. But straight south on McLeod. That sounds like busy. I don't go near the Deerfoot or anything like that, but I'm sure it's very nice there though. I know there are lots of the communities that have lakes and things down there. So yeah, that's fine Jane. Give her all our love as well. Tell her congratulations on the new baby. So going back to this, I've seen a few other demonstrators who have used the template and made their own sizings up. I'm making my own sizing up as well. So you might see somebody else use it, but they, you know, I've measured maybe 1.5 inches and they'll do 1.25 inches. It really doesn't matter. It's one of those things that you just make it work. You choose the sizings and you make it work for you. So what I'm going to use in my first card, and I'm hoping we've got time for 4 cards. I'm trying to do 2 cards, one like a basic kind of version and one a stepped up version, and then use a different paper and do the same again. So this is what I'm using. It's the Harvest Meadow set, and you might have seen me use it on my YouTube video. and I used a little piece of it on this card. I just used a little scrap of it. But if you look at it in the catalogue, it doesn't look quite as pretty as I think it is in real life. And I think that goes for quite a lot of our papers. You look at them, let's just open this. You look at them and you think, oh yeah, they look really nice, that's pretty. You see this paper here? I thought it was like just a marbled effect or a washed effect. But it's actually it's got writing on. And it has got that like motley background. But the little script that's on it is just so pretty. So I'm going to use both the paper from this suite and, whoops, let's find a better picture of it, and the stamp set. I'm not using the dies or anything. I'm just going to use this image and the thank you image. In fact, I might be using the dies. Let me just think. Yes, because I know I've got some of these thank yous already printed out and cut out with the dies. So I am using a few bits out of there. Okay, so let me just give you a quick look at the paper. So I actually like this side better than this side, but I've seen lots of cards already made for fall, for Thanksgiving and things, using this side, and I didn't realise it was like tree branches. I looked at it that way and thought it was just like a crackle paint effect, but when you turn it round a bit, it's just like tree branches with snow on or something. And I like this side. That's a kind of a pattern that I could do a lot with, I think. So we've got that, and oops, this very, very pretty misty moonlight blue, and I'm using that one tonight. And then this one, that's like wheat sort of pictures, and the yellow on the back. So even if you didn't want to make a fall card, you know, there are so many of these patterns that you could use for birthdays, lots of other things. This is like the brown and white one, you know, the one that I just thought was like a crackle. It's the same pattern, different pattern on the back. Let's see what else there is. Mine are all a bit muddled up because I've used some. Oh, they're the two pieces I'm using tonight. And then this green scripty one that I've used quite a lot of because I've made all those swap cards that I showed you. And then it's got these little daisies in, you can just make them out, and little bits of wheat in the background too. So really nice for fall, but as I say, they don't have to be for that. You can always find on Stampin' Up, even if the front is really a particular holiday theme, the rest or the back you can use for lots of different things. Okay, so I've chosen these two. The one with these like white flowers and the wheat sheaf and maybe barley or oats. I think this is oats, and the daisies. And on the back it has the yellow. And then this one, on the back it has that pink. But I'm actually going to be using both blue sides. So all we need to do, I've got both pieces together, and all we need to do is to cut a 4-inch strip all the way down. Now I've actually done that already. They're 12 by 12, Laurie. So our papers only come in a 6 by 6 or a 12 by 12. So I've got a 4-inch strip of each of those pieces, and I'm going to be using the blue side. So I'm just going to pop these ones down because we don't need those at the moment. And then to make this effect, what I need to do is to cut like 2 pieces, because I think here it's like the front and the back of a paper, and I can't do that because I don't want the yellow. So I'm just going to cut 2 pieces. So at the moment it's measuring 4 by 12, and what I need it to be, oh, I do need that, maybe. No, I don't actually, I don't need it. So I'm going to line it up. I'm cutting both together, and I'm going to make them 5 1/4. Okay, so let me just put those up against the 6-inch edge. Okay, and then I'm going to move it down to 5 1/4. Judy, did you get that awful hail that we had here in Cochrane? Where it was hail and then rain for a few minutes and then rain again and then a bit more hail. It was nasty. Okay, so now these are the 2 pieces that we're going to use. I'm going to put them both together, and what I need to do now is to make a little mark on the back because we're going to cut them with a slanted line, and you could do it on each one if you wanted. I'm going to put them both together because I can cut 2 together and it's just easy. You didn't get hail in Sunset. Oh, Laurie, you should have said I would have collected some in a bucket for you and brought it up. It was terrible. Yeah, we had that wind too, Judy. That wasn't good at all. Okay, so on the right hand side, I'm going to make a mark at 1.5 inches. Okay, so I've just got a pencil here. I'm just going to line this up. I mean, you could use the little squares on your grid, but I just want to show you that I'm measuring at 1.5, and I've just put a little teeny weeny pencil mark. Okay, and then at this bottom left, I'm going to measure up from the bottom, and I'm going to measure up 2.5. So and just make a mark there. Okay, so then what we'll do is we'll cut across those 2. Now, if you wanted this to have a much deeper slant, then you could certainly do that. If you wanted to measure just 1 inch and maybe 2 inches, then cut between those. You just get a deeper slanted line. I just want mine to be not quite as deep as that. Okay, now I'll show you again because I think I would actually be able to see it on the blue as well. So I'm going from the top right, I'm going to measure down 1.5 inches, and from the bottom up I'm going to measure 2.5. Okay, so you can see I've got a little line here and a little line here, and then I'm going to put that just on my trimmer, and I'm going to put the mark here and the mark here into this little line, this little groove on my trimmer. So you can see here's the top mark that we made, the right hand side mark, and here's the bottom mark. And don't worry if it's not exact, if it doesn't go right through your line. That won't matter at all. And because we've cut 2 together, we know that these are going to match. Okay, I don't need the trimmer again for a little while. Okay, so we now have 2 pieces that look like this and 2 pieces that look like this. And what we're going to do is just swap these over, so that each card will have a top and a bottom that coordinate, but they're not exactly the same pattern. Okay, so I'm going to put these 2 away because I don't need those, and I've got a piece of basic white, and that measures 11 by 4 1/4, and I've scored it at 5 1/2 because I wanted it to be like a top fold today. But you can make it the other way as well. It works, doesn't matter which way you have your paper, it works both ways. Okay, okay, so now we're just going to attach these on here, and can you see it gives you just a nice little border all the way around. The only thing you have to make sure is that the top and the bottom piece, you don't have a gap between them. So when you glue them down, you don't want a gap. Okay, now let's find some Stampin' Seal. Oh, didn't mean for it to tear that. Let's just go the other way. I wonder, it's been sat on my windowsill here. I wonder, it feels really sticky. I think it's maybe a bit hot for that. Let me just find my little silicone mat, see if it's, there we go. Just need it to wind on a little bit. I think it's just sticky from being sitting in the sunshine. Yeah. I might just use my liquid glue. Excuse me while I just reach over. Let's use this liquid glue. So I want to stick that piece down as well. I think it's going to be one of those evenings when the glue doesn't want to work and it all pops out. Oh dear. Well, at least we know beforehand that that's how our evening is going to go. Let's spread that around a little bit. Okay. Let's pop this over here. And I'm just trying to make sure that the sides and the top have got the same distance round so that everything looks level. And I'll pop some glue on this one. Turn it round, and I'm going to just butt this up first so that I know it's all matching. There we go. Nice. Put the lid on that glue. I'm just going to push that down a little bit. Okay, so there's our base card. We don't need to put anything on the inside because it's white on the inside, ready for stamping or adding more of the designer series paper. Okay, so while that piece dries, because it has got quite a lot of glue on there, I'm going to make the little embellishment pieces. And it shows that we need a circle and we need a rectangle that says sentiment and our little piece of ribbon. Now these ones are pieces cut out from the designer series paper, and if you wanted to just cut out and not have to do any stamping, these papers are great for that. But the paper I've chosen isn't. So I'm going to stamp this flower here, but I'm not going to stamp any of it, all of it. I've got some circles already pre-cut in my basic white, and what I used, let me just get my dies. What I used was this circle from here. But really, all you need to do is to hold the circle up and think, you know, is that how big I want it? Did I want a smaller one? So I just chose this one, okay? Because I thought that looked a good size on there. Right. So let's pop those back. If you have some of the circle punches, they would work great as well. Okay, then these are the sentiments that I already had. This was for a project when I was doing this. I'd started off and I was stamping in black, and then I thought it was a little bit dark. So I've got some of these pre-made. And all it was the thank you sentiment, and then this little die cut. Okay. So I've already got those, and then let's get that flower out. So really pretty set this, and I like that it sort of coordinates with that quiet meadow one that we got as well from the annual catalogue. And it even goes with the dandelion set too. So I like that they're bringing out things where we can mix and match, and if we've got some of the set from a previous time, it's okay. You know, we can use that as well. I'm going to use my black memento, and I know I'm not stamping the whole of the flower, so I'm actually only just going to ink in the top 2/3. Let's see, that looks about right. Then I've got my circle, and I'm just lining it up so the flowers are going to be in the circle. The leaves won't be so much, but oh, now that didn't come out brilliantly, so I'm going to stamp it again. Checking that I don't seem to have much ink over that side, so there we are. Let's put that on there, and actually let's just pick up another circle. Oh, not that one that I've just put my thumb in. Okay, there we go. Oh, it's just the same look. Okay. Well, that's okay. I need one for the next card as well, so I'm going to stamp at the same time while I've got this one out. I'm not worrying too much. Just going to make sure I press a little bit at that right hand side where it keeps coming up just a little bit light. Oh, no, that's better. Okay, let's stamp on the back of these as well. that other one that we did, that first one? We might as well stamp them all again, might we? There we go. Nice. Okay, so I'm going to pop that back. If you did have a sentiment to stamp, you could stamp it now so that you got all your stamping done at the same time. And let's just clean this one. So we're not going to use this one again. So we might as well pop it back in its box. So what are you all working on for crafting? Are you all making cards, or are you into doing Christmas cards? What's everybody busy with? Okay, let me just take this back because I'm going to colour them as well. And I've got some of my stamping blends here. I'm going to use, I think, the old olive, and I'm going to use the light one just to do the little stems. And you don't have to colour, you know, too brilliantly. You don't have to be a real artist to colour these in. Okay, and let's do the other one at the same time, because I know I need it for the next card. It's just as easy to colour it now. And I'm not worrying too much there where I just went over the stem. You can always take that off with a colour lifter if you want to, or even just leave it. Let me show you the colour lifter. I just have to go and get it. So this is the colour lifter, and it just works by taking the excess ink off. Oh, nice, Laurie. Is that like a family member or a friend who's moving? And then you can see that it's clear. And all you do is you just lightly go over where, you know, you made a mistake or you went over the line or whatever. And it soaks in. And can you see how it takes the colour away? So you can't really tell now that I coloured over the edge. It doesn't work for big areas. So, you know, if you wanted to wipe out the whole of a flower, it wouldn't work for that. It leaves you with sort of a wet mess, really. But, yeah, but for little bits, it's brilliant. Okay, and then I'm going to colour these in. I'm not going to do a lot of colouring with them. I'm only going to colour the middles. But if you wanted to, you know, you could colour the petals and colour the middle just a little bit darker. But for what I'm making, I don't want it to be too colourful, if there can be such a thing. Okay, so that's all I need for that. That would look really pretty though if you did it in one of the reds and made the petals like an orange or something. I think there's something like that in the catalogue. Just have a look. Always remember to look back at the catalogue and see what they made. So, look, this is quite pretty where they've done it sort of brown and then with maybe mango melody and the could be pumpkin pie that they've put on as well. That looks really pretty. And this is the one I was thinking of, where it's sort of like a calypso coral type of petal. And you can always go over other bits to make it a little bit darker. If you wanted to, let's get this again, this, what have I got, so saffron. You know, you could just colour the middle a little bit more. It just gives a little bit more depth. And the same with the leaves. You could use the dark as well. Okay, now we don't need that piece for now. So you also need a sympathy card. Oh, I'm sorry you need a sympathy card. But the new baby girl card will be nice. That'll be a nice one to make. Okay. So let's go back to our basics. We've got the little sentiment. We've got the circle. Now I just need the ribbon. And all I'm going to do is just cut a little piece off. I'm going to find my ribbon scissors. Oops, that's not them, but this is. And that, not quite sure how much I need. So I'm going to just taper this end as well. I've been busy making cards for my team because we're going to have a little get together and we're all going to make a card. So I've been making the pieces for that. And what else have I been doing? Oh, I just finished doing my Stamp Some More class. Laurie came to collect hers today, so that's how I'd seen Laurie this morning. But I haven't really been doing much. The main thing I've been doing is avoiding having to mend the deck. My husband's outside mending the deck and cutting pieces of resin board, and I've tried to look busy. So, but I don't mind doing the painting and things, but I'm not good at cutting with a saw. So, okay, I'm just going to pop these two bits together. I'm going to put a little glue dot in the middle just to keep them stuck together. I'm going to pop them over here. Let's see. Maybe down a little bit. Yeah. Okay, and I'm just going to put a couple of little glue dots underneath just to keep them down. Now this ribbon, sometimes it can be a bit hard to stick because it's got these little like diamond-y sequins in. So I just make sure if I'm using this that I put a couple of glue dots on. There we go. Okay, and then I'm going to pop this one on with dimensionals. There we go, and let's take those backs off. I do love that Stampin' Up centres this little picture. Just a, you know, just as a little creative spark kind of thing. Okay, now let's see. They've put their sentiment so it's over the circle. Now mine is a smaller sentiment. So what I'm going to do is, oh, let's just move that ribbon up a little bit, like that. And I might pop this over here, and I'll put liquid glue at this end, but at this end I'll put a dimensional because this is already raised. And a little bit of liquid glue, and let's hope it only comes out a little bit as well, not like that great big plop that came out earlier. And there we go. Put it down just a tiny bit. There we go. Then you can see just a little bit of that daisy. Okay, so there's the first card, made just like they're showing. And the next card, I'm just going to step it up a little bit, just to show how you can add a little bit more to it. So instead of having the white base, I'm going to use the Misty Moonlight. Oh no, it's not hard at all. It's an easy card to make. Okay, I just need to score this. My base is actually cut the other way, and that's fine. It doesn't matter which way you cut these. So I'm just going to, let me just see, I'm just going to score this at 4 1/4. Okay. And then let's fold that over, give it a little burnish. Okay. And here where the designer series paper is, before I put the designer series paper on, I'm going to put a little mat on it. So I've got a little piece of basic white, and this is cut at 4 by 5 1/4, and that's just going to go onto here, and then our paper will go on top. So let's just add this. Let's see if the stamping seal wants to work. Oh, it's okay now, look. It's having a try. So I'm going to put one on the front, just make sure I've got that nice border all the way around, and I'm going to put one on the inside. Now I'm not actually going to decorate the inside right now, but I know I do have extra pieces of this designer series paper, little pieces left over that I can just put a little strip down the side, or I could stamp the flower again. So because I want this to go on here and it's cut to the same size as the white mat, I'm just going to cut this down a little bit. I'm going to take 1/4 inch off the side and 1/4 inch off the bottom. Okay, so let's just pop these together and let's see what would be the easiest way to do that. I'm going to line them up so that they're level. I'm going to put it in here and just move it along 1/4 inch. Okay, I'll get rid of those, and I'm going to take 1/4 inch off the bottom. Really quick, really easy, and it's just going to give us that nice little edge or little border all the way around. So now when we put it on, you see how I've got that extra little white piece there. And then the rest we do it just the same. We're going to attach this and butt those slanty lines up. So really nice way to use designer series paper, this as well, and it would be a really good one to use on the Love It Chop It. So I've just been planning a Love It Chop It class ready for September for one of my clubs, and if you don't know, it was sort of started by one of the top demonstrators in Australia, Kylie Bertucci, and I do a lot of her training because I love the way she teaches, and I love, you know, she has such a nice way about her, and she's always full of fun, and she makes some really nice things. So one of her classes is about not keeping designer series paper. Now, I have a lot of designer series paper, and up until maybe the end of last year, what I used to do was buy a pack of paper to use and a pack of paper to keep just in case the stuff that I was using had run out and it wasn't in the catalogue anymore. And honestly, I didn't want to use all my paper up. So what I decided to do was to join and to have a go at the Love It Chop It group. And what you do is you chop your paper to start with so that you know you're going to use it. Now, let me just find the box that I was working on, if it's still out. No, I don't think it is. I think I've taken it downstairs. So I just can't see it. So I think I must have hidden it downstairs. I had it downstairs earlier when I was taking a photograph of it. But what you do is you chop the whole of your pack of 12 by 12 and you chop it into these 4 inches by 5 1/4 or 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, so that you get 6 pieces from each of your designer series pieces of paper. And then what you do is you can chop it like this so that you make different card fronts. You could chop it into lines, you could make it into squares, and you make cards with them so that you know you're going to use it. Now, what I tend to do is just to chop half my pack up, because I know I'm going to make lots of 3D items where I might need a 6 by 12 piece or 12 by 12 to make a bag or something. So I don't always chop all of mine up, but I do chop a lot of it up, and I find that then I use it. And as I say, for this card, it would be perfect because you've already got your pieces, your 2 pieces chopped, and you just put your slanting line in and you've got 2 cards ready. So, going back to this card, I've cut one of the scallop circles out just a little bit bigger than our little daisy picture, only a tiny bit bigger. You could make it even bigger if you wanted. I only wanted that tiny, tiny little border. I need my ribbon again, and I'm going to do the same with this ribbon. Okay, let's just see. Oops. I'm going to find my scissors and let's chop a piece. Nice that you joined us, Judy. I really enjoyed chatting with you. I hope there's no more rain or hail for us in Calgary, and we'll see you again another time. Thanks so much. Take care. Okay, so I'm going to pop those little glue dots on again. See where they are. These are the roll that I have that are not quite so sticky. So you just have to make sure you squish them down well. And then they're okay. I mean, they've never come off. They just don't feel as sticky as some of the other packs that I've had. And I know when I spoke to Stampin' Up about it, they said that they'd now changed it back again so that they're all much stickier. So, okay. I'm going to pop this onto the little scallop circle. And then let's pop some dimensionals under there. Now before I put that on, another thing that you could do, see where this little slanted line is? You could put, and this doesn't match at all, but you could put like another little piece of designer series paper across like this, and then you could have your little image on, or a piece of card. Whoops, I didn't want that sticking on there. So you could put, you know, even your ribbon you could put along that slanted line. So lots of different ways to just step it up a bit. Okay, now let's find the other little sentiment. Did I not get another one out? Let's have a look. Probably not. Okay, and again I'm going to do the same. I'm going to put a dimensional at this side and glue at this side. And I'm just going to pop this just down a little bit more. There we go. Okay, so there we are. That's the first card to show you exactly how we make it, and then this is how it was on our little diagram here from Stampin' Up, and then just stepped up a little bit by putting an extra little border and a little piece around your image here. Okay, so I'm going to pop those on one side and the spare little piece of paper. Let's get rid of all of those. And what time are we at? Oh, we've got enough time to make the next one. Okay. So I'm going to use I've got this for sentiments. I don't know which of those I'm going to use. I'm going to use the paper that goes with that though. I'm going to use this paper, which is called Whimsy and Wonder. And it isn't traditional Christmas colours, but I made a set of my swap cards with this and I absolutely fell in love with it. So, oops, it's a speciality paper, and if you see in the catalogue anything that says speciality, it usually just means that it's got foiling in it. Let's get this one, you might be able to see on this one. You see how the little berries and things have got foil on. Let's just see. I like this piece as well with the snowflakes. They're sort of almost holographic. So I'm going to use this paper and I'm going to mix and match it with some of the celebration paper. And this is the celebration paper that I'm going to use. I don't have too much of this left, but I have ordered some more. I have bought some more things and got more of this. And I love that it's got these little deers on and things. And these little deers, you can cut them out with the punch that's in the occasions catalogue. That we have a little deer punch that cuts those out. Okay, now I'm going to make a little bit of space. I don't need my blends, so I can move those over there. Okay, and I know I want a piece of this from the Whimsy paper, and I've got all my other little bits here that I need. I'm just going to move that over to one side. Okay, now, oops. So I've got my bases ready, and I've got 2 in the basic white already, because we're going to make the 2 cards, and I'll make them at the same time. And I've got my paper, which is from the Celebration paper, but this time, instead of having it portrait style, I'm going to make it landscape. And so the only thing you have to watch is if you have a paper like this that has an orientation on it. So I know that my card is going to go like this, and the slanted line is going to cut through like this. So I just need to know that that's going the right way. Okay, I'm going to put my other piece behind, and it's actually the back, but I want the dotty side on this. So I'm going to measure exactly the same as we did before. Let me just find where I just hid my ruler. Okay, here it is. I'm going to turn it 90 degrees. So I know at the moment my pattern's laying the wrong way, but that's okay. So I'm going to measure down this side at 1.5, and I'm going to measure down up from the bottom at 2.5. Okay. Now I'm only actually going to cut one piece for a moment, because I want to show you something else I'm cutting as well. I've got a piece of mint macaron cut exactly the same size, and I've run it through the embossing folder. I put it through the Evergreen Forest embossing folder, so that I don't know, can you see those? It's got trees on, and I have it cut horizontally the same. So I'm actually going to cut this in the same way. I want to have it so that I've either got like the spots with this or the little trees with this. Okay? So I'm cutting both of those at the same time. It's easier to emboss it first and then to cut it, rather than have that smaller piece and then be trying to emboss it when it's already a strange shape. So I've got that ready. I'll get my trimmer. I'm going to line up those 2 marks that we just made in the trimmer track again. So here's the first one, and my second one is down here. Okay, so I've got those already cut, and I also wanted to do a dotty one. So I can't cut 2 pieces of paper and a piece of card nicely in here, so that's why I didn't cut them all together. But I am just going to cut, so 1.5 down the side, 2.5 up from the bottom. I'm just going to cut that because I haven't quite decided yet which one I want. So here's the mark at the top and the mark at the bottom. There we go. Okay, so here's our first piece of card. Let's fold it over and just burnish it. Make sure that it's laying flat. And I'm not putting a layering card on this or a backing card. I'm just going to make them with the Designer Series paper. So I've got my one piece here, and let me find my longer piece. My long piece here. Okay. Now, obviously, you could use any embossing folder that you've got. It would look pretty if it was spots, or like the snowstorm, the birch one that we've got out at the moment, the wood planks. Lots and lots of them would look really, really good. I just liked the trees with it. I might only get a chance to do 3, but you get the idea of how to use the template and how you can change it. Just change it up a little bit to match whatever you want. You know, because I want to use a tree-based paper, then I wanted a tree theme in the background. Put that down it straight. There we go. Okay, I'll pop those to one side, but I will be making a second card, and I haven't quite decided if I'm going to do like this kind of a design, if I'm just going to change it over that way, or if I was even just going to do it like this. Haven't decided, but that's okay because I've got lots of things to play with now. Need to hold that down a little minute. Because it's quite heavily embossed, it's a 3D embossing folder, sometimes you just need to make sure you press it down so that the glue that's hiding in all those crevices does actually get onto the card. Okay, now let's find the circles. Okay, so what I've done is I have got my plain basic white circles if I want them, but I've also cut out some of the circles in the designer series paper, and I happen to have this strip left from doing the little swap cards that I made, but I do have a bigger piece as well. So all I did was I used the circle die or a circle punch, and I just cut out pieces that already had a circle like this. Okay, I haven't done a backing piece like an extra scallop or anything, and I haven't even made my sentiment yet. So I've got those, but I did hear one of the demonstrators was saying that, you remember the old punch we have, the old Christmas tree punch? She said she thought it fitted some of the trees. Now, I don't know which ones. Let's have a look. So it's not going to be this one, and it's not going to be this little one. I wonder if it's going to be something like this one. Let's find one of those. No, that's too small. So what else is that? What have I missed? So, I'm not sure. That looks too small to me. That one, I couldn't see the bottom of the tree. I wonder if she meant one of the other punches, not this pine tree punch that's retired anyway. I'm thinking that might be a bit smaller than that one. Let's see. Let's punch out a little piece, and we can do it this way. Look, punch out, rather than trying to guess, and then we'll use this as a template. So, oh, that would fit in it, but I don't see the little stem there. That one doesn't. That's the same. It fits in, but you don't see the stem. Maybe that's what she meant. You don't see the tree trunk, you just see the tree. And that does cut out and look like the tree, to be fair, doesn't it? So maybe that's the one that she means, these sort of trees here, because these others are too small. Yeah, so it must be these ones that she was talking about. And it does, it would cut out and it would look like a tree. I thought she meant it cut out the whole of the tree, so that's why I got a bit excited. Okay, let's pop that away. So, and I've got the organdy ribbon again, and because this sort of picks up any colours, doesn't matter what colour card you put it on. So that'll be nice on there. I think I almost need something a little bit sturdier behind it because it's just the paper. So I may have to cut out a little scallop. I don't know which tree piece I actually like. I like those two, but let me find my little cut and emboss machine, and we'll just cut one out. So I'm going to need my scallop circles. Let's see, I'm just going to measure these. I might like it to be a little bit bigger than the one I had on the blue pictures. Let's have a look. Oh, that's a bit too big. So it might have to be that one. I don't want it too big. Or what about one of the other circles? I could have it just as the plain circle. Let's try that one. I'll cut one of those as well. Was it that one? Was it that one? Let me just try. Let's cut one of each and see what we like. Okay, and then just get all my little cutting boards. Okay, so I need the white one and then the two clear ones. And let's see what colour. I've got garden green, which is this one. I'm just going to trim this down so that it cuts in the little trimmer. Okay. And let's just see what works, see what we like. So there's the scalloped one, and see, will that fit? Ooh, it would just fit. I was lucky. There we go. Pop that on there. And then through we go. Oops. So are you crafting at the same time as me, Laurie? While you're making your cards? Pop those two back. Oh, we don't need those plates anymore either. And then let's see what we like. I think I like this, where you get two trees. Okay, and what's it like just on the circle? Oh, I almost like that one better because you see just a little bit more of the green. I'll try again. Yeah, I think I like that one better. I like the bigger one. Now let's pop that one on. And this would have been nice as well, the backing to this paper. That would have been a nice one to go behind it. Oh, I just noticed, look, it's not quite round. So I'm going to put it that way and I'm going to put the ribbon there and then we won't see. Okay. Let's find our ribbon again. You can't do two things at once. Okay. Yes, you can. You can craft at the same time. Are you ready to make pop-up boxes on Monday, Laurie? At Stamp Some More? Have you chosen your stamp set yet? I think Melanie will probably use her donkeys because she loves those donkeys and that would work well in our pop-up box. But I haven't heard from Carol yet. Let's just even that up a little bit. There we go. And I'm going to put the two little ones on the back. Let's pop this across here. Oh, I'm going to move it across just a little bit so I can see a little bit more of it. Ribbons just, there we go. And then let's find some dimensionals. So what have you chosen, Laurie? Or is it a surprise for Monday? Okay, let's pop that there. And then let's get rid of that. And then the last thing we need is just a little sentiment. And what have we got? 5 minutes left. I'm sure we've got time to make a sentiment. So let's pop the lid on that glue for a moment. And let's see. I brought two things in because I wasn't sure what I wanted the sentiment to be like. So I'm not sure I want one of these sentiments because I only want a small sentiment on here. I don't know. Let's find what we're going to put it on with. Now, in my little box where I always put my offcuts and things, I also always have lots of extra die cuts, and these are all much too big, of course. But I keep extra die cuts in here, and I've got lots of circles. Oh, I've got a little tailored tag piece. Don't think I like that. No, I don't think I like that one. Let's try, oh, what's this one? Is that everyday label? No, I don't like that one. I'd like a long one if possible. I should maybe have chosen something different, but never mind. Let's stamp one of these. Let's think. Maybe the little piece out of the Nature's Harvest. Maybe that little die. Let's see if that fits any of these. It would fit that Season's Greetings. Let's try that one. That's really, really tiny. And I don't really say Noel to anybody. So let's try the Season's Greetings. I can always put a different one on if we decide that's not the one we want. So let's put on a block. Oh, dinosaurs. Oh, Laurie, that would be good. That'd be pretty cool in a pop-up box. I know you didn't want to make lots of Christmas cards, so dinosaurs sounds really good. Oh, that's a bit too dark. I inked this, put a little refill in there last week, and I seem to have put quite a lot on. So you don't need to press very hard. And because it was running out of ink for the longest time, and I was having to press quite deeply on it, I've sort of keep pressing deeply and remembering that, oh, no, I don't need to. I put extra ink in. Let's throw that piece away. And let's put this, pop it on here. Make sure it's straight, or it looks a bit straight. Oh, it's sort of straight. No, it's not. Put it in straight. Okay. There we go. Pop that one away. There we go, we don't need that piece. We can pop that on here. Let's have a look. I don't want to cover up too much of the trees, so I might put it across the bottom like that, so we can still see all the trees over here. Let's put a dimensional at the back. And then a little dab of glue. There we go. Take a little bit off. We don't need that quite that much. There we go. And let's pop it down here. I also don't want to cover those trees up either. So, and then let's find some little embellishments. Which ones shall we use? Now these are mint macaron, and this card is mint macaron, and they've got a little bit of gold in. So we could use those. Or it's almost silvery holographic, the little pieces on there. So I might use these, the holiday rhinestones instead. because they pick up lots of colour. And then I'll just pop these onto here. I know these ones are mint macaron, aren't they? Oh no, it's Coastal Cabana. They just looked so like that mint macaron there. So I'm going to pop one on here, and then let's just pop some others over here. Put them on this side. Pop them over there. Okay. Okay, so that's the last of the cards that we'll make right now. Let me get the picture again. So, oops, what's this little piece of ink here? A little piece of, I think it's off the ribbon. I think this is like a little, one of the little organdy, one of the little sequins on there. So, even though the template that we got was portrait, you can easily turn it landscape. Let's find our first two cards. And there we are. So I hope you'll give those a go. It's a really easy layout to make. And once you've cut the paper and everything, you know, it's so simple to put together. And you can embellish it just how you like. You can add little bits if you want. You know, you can do a little bit of embossing. You could put like a piece of Designer Series paper or ribbon down the slanted lines. Lots of different ways to use it. So thanks for joining me, everybody. Thanks for being there, Laurie, too. And I'll see you on Monday, Laurie. But for everyone else, I'll see you all again next week on Tuesday. Take care, everybody. And thanks again. Bye.